Maya's angry I didn't contact him about his child I had 3 years ago. To be clear, I absolutely f***ing did. I emailed 2x. I texted 2x. And I sent him printed letters in the mail 2x. I documented all these after he didn't respond to the first set of messages. I had no ingoing personally as I did not want to be in his presence for any reason. I don't particularly think he's a good person. He was always aggressive. Though he was not physically abusive, he also cheated on me twice and gave me an STI that I'm lucky I was able to deal with before it became detrimental to my pregnancy. When I could not contact him, I decided to move back home to Canada give birth. And did not put him on the certificate. He clearly didn't want to be involved in my opinion, and the stress of what he did to me had me in therapy all through my pregnancy and caused multiple stress-related issues to my health. It took a lot of therapy. I have since married a woman and she legally adopted our daughter less than a month ago. And we are plan on moving back to her own home country in the Netherlands in summer, now that the global issues is calming and our visas are in the final stages. DM'd me through my new Instagram. I don't know how he even found me, 2 days ago, with a very long cruel and berating message about how I hid his child from him. I was surprised, then angry, and simply wanted to responded with screenshots of the ways that is did and ignore it. But I just said, paraphrasing, I did attempt to make contact on multiple occasions. Through multiple methods, mail, text, and email. You did not respond. I am uncertain anyone could have missed all of those. Twice. He asked me where I was and I just responded that I was no longer living in America. He has since blown up my emails to the point of harassment. And my father has since told me to funnel them out of my mail email after he read a few and found it to be a disgusting display of self-pitying idiocy. I do believe he knows where my family home is. We had visited once, and in one of the emails he threatened to come by the house and take me back to her home country. Since then my father has suggested moving up my family's moving date, and he is paying for an Airbnb for us to stay at. My wife herself is 3 months pregnant. And this is really stressing her. So I told her we should move up the date. I just don't know what to do with this situation. He is showing the exact reasons I did not meet with him in person. I am at a loss. I want to help my wife. Her pregnancy was obviously planned, and I know better than most what stress can do. I'm also worried he'll show up. I just needed to vent. But cite into anyone who's been in a situation like this. Talk to the lawyer you had handle the adoption. You need to make sure that everything there is nailed down, that you didn't leave any openings that he could walk you. From a legal viewpoint, you probably need to stop communicating with him. If he tries to overturn the adoption, you don't want to give him ammunition he could use. For example, if he needs some grounds to claim paternity and demand a test, you don't want those grounds to be your own texts. This is international. The kid has been adopted, he's not on the certificate, and there's no paternity test, and no way to force you to get one. So I don't think he has a case there. Don't talk to the police. If you do, they may be obliged to prevent you from leaving the country until paternity is determined. A lawyer is a much better choice, because they cannot speak with anyone but you about what you tell them. Contact a lawyer. If you haven't done so already, make all your social media private as well as your wife's. I don't know if you should block him, but she definitely should, and anyone else he may try to contact. The less visible your family is to him, the better. I think he found out you're happy and he just wants to make you miserable. Be very careful with your communication so that you don't implicate yourself. Buy your time and move. My boyfriend, 20M, gets extremely upset over the things I, 19F, wear or do. I don't even wear that much of revealing clothes, yet he still gets upset. It started to trigger me a lot because the way he communicates me about it is just so irritating to me. He says, "You wear those kinds of clothes to annoy me. If you cared about what I felt, you wouldn't wear something revealing again. You promised me to not question how I felt when I felt bad, yet you still defend your ideas of what you want to wear or do. You don't sacrifice anything for the sake of our relationship, etc." When I tell him many people wear the types of clothes I do, he says, "Your body is already too attractive and gets a lot of attention even when you don't wear revealing clothes." I told him I wanted to have a cherry tattoo on my ass just because I find it adorable, and I'm a redhead, so I call myself Cherry on internet. He said it is aesthetically pleasing, but it just doesn't seem right to him. I just asked why, and he said, "Why do you question and try to make it logical when I don't like something?" I said, "It's my body, it's not about our relationship." He said, "Are you aware of the fact that we're in a serious relationship?" And I told him, "You'll be the only one who would see the tattoo unless I wear bikini, which is pretty rare." It is pretty much how he reacts. Am I being selfish? I don't think so, but maybe there's something I don't understand, so yeah. Please let me know what you think. We've been together for 3 months and we've been close for 5-6 months. Dump this guy. He is a control freak and this behavior is only going to get worse. You have the right to wear any type of clothes you feel confident in. All the red flags. You wear those clothes to annoy me, yikes, I would have bailed after that comment. Location flag, location flag, location flag, a bunch of red flags here. If he's already trying to control what you do with your body, it's just going to get worse from there, he'll only get more restrictive. 3 months he has no reason to tell you what to do. I think a man telling a lady what to do with her body is the biggest red flag ever. He wants to change the way you dress and control what tattoo you get because he's insecure. Ridiculous. If it were me, I'd emphasize my body, my choice. You're wearing what you want because you like it for you, not to disrespect him or impress anyone else. If he can't accept that, huge red flag. Run like fuck. Seriously, I've had one like him. What he did worked because I was 18 and just thought he loved me so much he wanted to protect me. I was at the time pretty conservative with my clothes. He had me done up like a nun almost by the time I left him a year later. Fuck that. I choose what I wear and what I'm comfortable exposing or not. My body, and it's not up for a damn debate. He's starting small with control and manipulation, it will continue into everything you do. Run. My fiancé doesn't want to tell me something she did that would potentially hurt our relationship. I, 27, and my fiancé, 27, have been in a relationship for over 4 years. Things have generally been great with us until now. Very recently one of my fiancé friends and her got into a verbal fight, and during their argument the friend said that at least she would never do to her partner what my fiancé did. Things got very heated after that and my fiancé proceeded to kick her friend out. After things cooled down with her, I asked her what she did, and at first she told me that it's something I wouldn't want to hear anyway, so I should just ignore it. Upon further prying, she told me that it happened at the start of our relationship and is now irrelevant and I should stop asking her about this. I told her that she needs to let me know, as it is me who would decide it if it's relevant to me or not her. She won't budge and I don't want to talk to the friend directly because we aren't really friends and I don't hope to get any info out of her anyway. For now, the only option I am considering in postponing the wedding, assuming that my fiancé won't give me information to make an informed decision. We are due to get married in December, which is not all that far away, and I am panicking a little bit. Since she won't tell me what all this is about, I really can't know for sure whatever it is a deal breaker for me or not. I have constantly tried to talk to her about this over the last month, but she doesn't want to talk about this particular thing. I have put some thought into what she might have done, but something as serious as they claim doesn't come to mind. I know just by her character that she won't cheat or do something similar. Pretty sure she won't steal or hurt someone else either. Honestly, I am a loss right now. I haven't talked to her about postponing the wedding, but I guess that is what is needed right now. What do you think about this? Thanks in advance. Edit. Just an update, guys. I talked to the friend and found out what happened. She did not cheat or anything, but did something just as bad in my opinion. When we got together 4 years ago, I had 2 friends, X and Y. X and Y were both women and the only women friends I had. I did cut both of them out because back then my fiancé accused them from stealing her gold earnings. We were 7 months into the relationship at the time and I did trust her at that point, and she asked me to cut them out as my friends were thieves. The whole thing was a whole mess. Now knowing what happened, I think I am going to move forward with canceling the wedding and probably sent apology text to my ex-friends. I am definitely not expecting a reply, but at least they would know that I was an ass and now know that we're good people. Before I tell my fiancé I know everything, I am going to get my exit plan in place and then just break it off because this is a deal breaker for me. I know for some people opposite sex friendships of their partner are too much, but her measures to get rid of my friends were extreme and in no way reasonable. The real concern I have right now is once we are married and she doesn't like someone else in my life, what extreme measure will she take then? I am not staying to find that out. I just need a little time to figure things out and get my feeling in order, and then I'll be on my way. Thank you to anyone who took the time out to reply, means a lot. Whatever the thing was, her now concealing it is becoming a bigger deal breaker. Have you put it to her like that? Absolutely get that info before you get married. Put the wedding on hold and tell her if she doesn't come clean you're going to the friend to find out anyway. If there is no trust, there is no relationship. You can't trust her because she is withholding critical information. She can't seem to trust you enough to tell you this information. For me, sadly, this alone would be enough for me to walk. Because this will be a cancer in your relationship until it kills your marriage. And it will. And hopefully when it does kill your relationship it happens before children are part of the picture. Source. Been married for 25 years and I have told my wife some gnarly shit about myself. History of abuse, before we got married. Believe me, trust is 100% or zero in a marriage. There is no middle ground. I would not go ahead until she comes clean. Also, be careful she doesn't trick you with pregnancy. You need to know. Don't move forward until she comes clean. My gut is that she had a relationship or sex with someone. I would not marry someone who is intentionally keeping something from me the way your partner is keeping it from you. Either she's hoping you'll stop bringing it up and get over it, or she's holding onto it until after you're married so she can haha see it's not a big deal lol when, in fact, it's a huge deal and you wouldn't have been married if you knew. It could also be a really? That's it? Who cares? Reaction from you, but the way she's hiding it and refusing to discuss it is shitty. There are many other things that could happen, but those are my best guesses. Pardon my French, but fuck anyone I don't trust. My boyfriend, now husband, did something to me years ago, and I'm not sure what to do about it. We 28F and 31M have been together for 6 years, married for 3 years, and other than this situation we have a very healthy and loving relationship. This happened 4 years ago. We were spending a weekend visiting his parents because it was his mother's birthday, and other people from his family were there for the weekend too, which means no privacy. I remember that for some reason we went to bed early that day, but everyone else was awake, and I really wanted to sleep. At some point he started kissing me and touching my body, which I was okay with. He wanted to have sex, but I didn't want to because we could easily get caught. We were alone in the bedroom in that moment, but we were sharing it with his brother. He kept insisting, and I told him no. He got on top of me and pinned me down, and we had sex even though I was constantly telling him to stop. Now, some important points on this. He didn't physically hurt me. I was turned on, I just wasn't comfortable with the situation. And I never considered it as rape, even though my friends do, because I'd have given consent if it wasn't for the fear of being caught, and if I was desperate for him to stop I'd have screamed. Almost all of his family were there. I was just really pissed off because he didn't respect me when I told him no or when I asked him to stop. Also, I'm sure he would have stopped if I told him I was in pain, scared or anything like that. We had a talk the day after, he apologized and promised me to never do this again. He really hasn't done anything like that again, and yes, I've told him no other times after this one. The thing is, when this happened, I was pissed off at him and told 3 of my closest friends about it. They keep saying until this day that my husband raped me, and that I shouldn't have forgiven or married him, and that sooner or later he will do it again. I've made my mistakes in the past too. I know I've learned from them and they won't repeat, so I really trust that he won't do it again. But they say this is not just a mistake, they think what he did is unforgivable. The reason why I'm asking this now, after 4 years, is because my friends came up with this again and I'm just wondering if this is something I should be worried about. I mean, I was worried about it 4 years ago, but like I said, he hasn't done it again. He's actually a really amazing husband. Is there something I'm not seeing in this situation? Where do I do from here? Should I talk to him about it again? I guess I need some advice and insight from people that don't know us and are not involved in this situation. Continuing to have sex with you without your consent is textbook rape. Your friends are right about that much. What you do about it is up to you. 4 years later, it clearly still bothers you. At minimum, you need therapy to process this. Probably couples counseling or possibly a post-nuptial agreement to protect you and your assets in case he does try it again. He raped you. You decided to forgive him. Your friends need to respect your decision, but you told your friends. Your friends will always have that impression of him. My friend's husband, the rapist. Have you processed what happened healthily? Maybe you should look into some individual therapy. That was rape. It doesn't have to be violent. You don't have to scream. You do not need to feel your life is in danger. And it may even feel pleasurable. Usually the worst or most confusing part for people who are raped. It was rape. You said no and continually said no. Consider the fact that he totally got off on you saying no and being uncomfortable. I'm truly sorry. He raped you. Your friends are right. Rape is unforgivable. What is a good sign is that you have not let go of this issue entirely. You need to work through any issues that have become dormant over the past 4 years. One instance of rape is enough. Just because it didn't happen again doesn't make it any less wrong. And something to know about rape. Rape victims can actually feel pleasure in the act. It can cause conflicting feelings between someone's body and emotions. There can be pleasure while at the same time trauma. This is why you need to get in touch with your feelings. You've buried them for too long. You said no. Repeatedly. But I'd have consented if, except those weren't the circumstances and you said no. You weren't hurt. You were aroused. But you still said no. That's rape. How you want to deal with that is up to you. But your husband did do something terribly wrong, and it seems important that you know that. I guess I need some advice and insight from people that don't know us and are not involved in this situation. Then seriously consider talking to a therapist who is specialized in trauma therapy. He wanted to have sex, but I didn't want to. That's the line where sex ends and sexual assault begins. Yes, it was rape. You don't have to have physical scars to prove violence. Please seek help from a professional.